Judges chapter 1. Joshua died. After that, the Israelites spoke to the Lord. They asked him, "Who of us will go up first and fight against the Canaanites?" The Lord answered, "The tribe of Judah will go up. I have handed the land over to them." Then the men of Judah spoke to their fellow Israelite, the men of Simeon. They said, "Come up with us. Come into territory Joshua gave us. Help us fight against the Canaanites, then we will go into your territory." So the men of Simeon went with them. When the men of Judah attacked, the Lord helped them. He handed the Canaanites and Perizzites over to them. They struck down 10,000 men at Bezek. The men of Judah found Adoni-Bezek there. They fought against him. They struck down the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But Adoni-Bezek ran away. The men of Judah chased him and caught him. Then they cut off his thumbs and big toes. Adoni-Bezek said, "I cut off the thumbs and big toes of 70 kings. I made them pick up scraps under my table. Now God has paid me back for what I did to them." The men of Judah brought Adoni-Bezek to Jerusalem. That's where he died. The men of Judah attacked Jerusalem and captured it. They set the city on fire. They killed each people with their swords. After that, the men of Judah went down to fight against some Canaanites. Those Canaanites were living in the central hill country. They also fought against those living in the Negev desert and the western hills. Then the men of Judah marched out against the Canaanites living in Hebron. Hebron used to be called Kiriath Arba. The men of Judah won the battle over Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai. From Hebron they marched out against the people living in Debel. It used to be called Kiriath Shefer. Caleb said, "I will give my daughter Aksa to be married. I will give her to the man who attacks the captures Kiriath and Sephar." O'Neill captured it, so Caleb gave his daughter Aksa to him to be his wife. O'Neill was the son of Kenaz. He was Caleb's younger brother. One day, Aksa came to O'Neill. She begged him to ask her father for a field. When she got off her donkey, Caleb asked her, "What can I do for you?" She replied, "Do me a special favor. You have given me some land in the Negev desert. Give me springs of water also." So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. Moses' father-in-law was a Kenite. His family went up from Jericho. Jericho was also known as the city of palm trees. His family went up with the people of Judah to the desert of Judah. They went there to live among each people. Those people were living in the Negev desert near Arad. The men of Judah marched out with their fellow Israelites. The men of Simeon, they attacked the people of Canaan living in Japheth. They set the city apart to the Lord in a special way to be destroyed. That's why the city was called Hormah. The men of Judah captured Gaza, Ashkelon, and Ekron. They also captured the territory around each of those cities. The Lord was with the men of Judah. They took over the central hill country, but they were not able to drive the people out of the plains. That's because those people used chariots that had some iron parts. Moses had promised to give Hebron to Caleb, so Hebron was given to Caleb. He drove the city, 3 sons of Anak, out of it. But the people of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites living in Jerusalem, so to this day they live there with the people of Benjamin. The tribes of Joseph attacked Bethel. The Lord was with them. They sent men to Bethel to check it out. It used to be called Luz. Those who were sent saw a man coming out of the city. They said to him, "Show us how to get into the city. If you do, we will see that you are treated well." So he showed them how to get in. The men of Joseph killed the people in the city with their swords, but they spared the men from Bethel. They also spared his whole family. Then he went to the land of the Hittites. He built a city there. He called it Luz. That is still its name to this day. But the tribe of Manasseh didn't drive out the people of Beth-shan. They didn't drive out the people of Tanakdor, Ibleam, and Megiddo, and they didn't drive out the people of settlements that are around those cities either. That's because the Canaanites had made up their minds to continue living in that land. Later, Israel became stronger, and they forced the Canaanites to work hard for them. But Israel never drove them out completely. The tribe of Ephraim didn't drive out the Canaanites living in Gezer, so the Canaanites continued to live there among them. The tribe of Zebulun didn't drive out the Canaanites living in Kithron and Nahalal, so these Canaanites live among them. But the people of Zebulun forced the Canaanites to work hard for them. The tribe of Asher didn't drive out the people living in Akko and Sidon. They didn't drive out the people of Ahalab, Akizib, Helba, Aphek, and Lehob. So the people of Asher lived among the Canaanites who were in the land. The tribe of Naphtali didn't drive out the people living in Beth Shemesh and Beth Anath. So the people of Naphtali lived among the Canaanites who were in the land. The people of Beth Shemesh and Beth Anath were forced to work hard for them. The Amorites made the people of Dan stay in the central hill country. They didn't let them come down into the plain. The Amorites made up their minds to stay in mountain Heres. They also stayed in Aizalon and Shalivim, but the power of the tribes of Joseph grew, and the Amorites were forced to work hard for them. The border of the Amorites started to Scorpion Pass. It went to Selah and even past it. Judges chapter 2. The angel of the Lord went up from Gilgal to Bochim, and there he said to the Israelites, I brought you up out of Egypt. I led you into this land. It is the land I promised to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. At that time I said, I will never break the covenant I made with you. So you must not make a covenant with the people of this land. Instead, you must tear down their altars. But you have disobeyed me. Why did you do it? I have said something else. I said, I will not drive out those people to make room for you. They and their gods will become traps for you. The angel of the Lord spoke these things to all the Israelites. And the people went out loud. So that place was called Bochim. The people offered sacrifices there to the Lord. Joshua sent the Israelites away, and they went to take over the land. All of them went to their own shares of land. The people served the Lord as long as Joshua lived. They also served him as long as the elders lived. Those were the elders who lived longer than Joshua did. They had seen all the great things the Lord had done for Israel. Joshua, the servant of the Lord, died. He was the son of Nun. He was 110 years old when he died. His people buried him on his own property at Timnath Heres, it's north of Mount Gash, in the hill country of Ephraim. All the people of Joshua's time joined the members of their families who had already died. Then those who were born after them grew up. They didn't know the Lord and what he had done for Israel. The Israelites did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. They served gods that were named Baal. They deserted the Lord, the God of their people. He had brought them out of Egypt, but now the Israelites serve other gods and worship them. They served the gods of the nations that were around them. They made the Lord angry because they deserted him. They served Baal. They also served female gods that were named Ashtoreth. The Lord became angry with the Israelites, so he handed them over to robbers. The lovers threw everything from them. The Lord handed the Israelites over to their enemies all around them. Israel wasn't able to fight against them anymore and win. When the Israelites went out to fight, the Lord's power was against them. He let their enemies win the battle over them. The Lord had warned them that it would happen, and now they were suffering terribly. Then the Lord gave them leaders. The leaders saved them from the power of those robbers. But the people wouldn't listen to their leaders. They were not faithful to the Lord. They served other gods and worshipped them. They didn't obey the Lord's commands as their people before them had done. They quickly turned away from the path their people had taken. When the Lord gave them a leader, he was with that leader. The Lord saved the people from the power of their enemies. He did it as long as the leader lived. The Lord felt very sorry for the people. They groaned because of what their enemies did to them. Their enemies treated them badly, but when the leader died, the people returned to their evil ways. The things they did were even more sinful than the things their people before them had done. They served other gods and worshipped them. They refused to give up their evil practices. They wouldn't change their stubborn ways. So the Lord became very angry with the Israelites. He said, This nation has broken my covenant I made with their people of long ago. But this nation has not listened to me. Joshua left some nations in the land when he died. I will no longer drive out those nations to make room for Israel. I will use those nations to test Israel. I will see whether Israel will live the way I, the Lord, want them to. I will see whether they will be like their people of long ago. I will see whether they will follow my path. The Lord had let those nations remain in the land. He didn't drive them out right away. He didn't hand them over to Joshua.